Hi, this is The Greatest Story Ever Played. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're going to be talking about Emily is Away 2.
Yep, and I guess just right off the bat, I'm having some microphone troubles. The one I typically use to record is just decided to break as we were going to start recording, so I'm using a much worse version of a microphone now. So if my audio sounds kind of bad, that's why I apologize for the maybe somewhat worse audio quality on my end.
Yeah, unexpected technical difficulties.
Yep, classic. That's really the first time we've ever actually dealt with this, or dealt with technical difficulties, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, that's pretty lucky. I feel like going this long, I'm sort of impressed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we've never really had an issue, except your printer sometimes, but that's easy to get around.
Right.
Well, cool. I can do the description for this. Emily is Away 2 is a brand new story featuring new characters and multiple different endings. Message your friends, surf the web, and choose your path through this branching narrative. Um, and I guess I did production too. This was produced and developed by Kyle Seeley, and he developed and made Emily is Away first one, and he's also currently developing Emily is Away 3, which will be coming out at some point in the future.
Yep. Cool. Thanks. Very similar to the first Emily is Away. This really deals with like AIM conversations and like the mid 2000s, basically.
Yeah.
So the game starts off summer 2006. This is right before your senior year. And it starts off, and I talk, I guess also for, I don't know, consistency's sake, I'm going to kind of be doing mostly my run through. Jordan will chime in with his where they differ and stuff like that. But this is kind of a recap of what my run through mostly looked like. But there's probably variances as we go on. So yeah, anyway, so it starts off and getting a conversation with Evelyn about summer. She's going to Warp Tour this coming weekend, so she's pretty excited about that. Her screen name's Punk Forever, and so she's all about like what people said was punk in 2006.
Yep. Very much so.
And also, she's going to a party tonight. She's probably excited. She's excited about that. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna party. I'm gonna rage. I'm gonna have fun." And like, I'll probably drunk text you, so get ready for that. And like, have conversations about like, "Oh, I could understand what you said before," or like, translating drunk text or that kind of stuff. And it's really in this conversation you're setting the stage for like where you're at. I think you talk about in this conversation like, are you a virgin or not, or do you drink or not, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, favorite kind of music.
Yeah.
That's probably the gist of it.
Yeah, favorite kind of music. She sends you a YouTube link, which I thought this was pretty cool. Is it actually plays music? It's like
Mm-hmm.
Emily is Away version of YouTube, but there was actually 4 or 5 videos that work where you actually can hear the music. From what I assume is like a link to our actual YouTube video. Um,
Yeah, it's funny too. They spell YouTube like you, and then tube is spelled TOOB. I thought that was pretty funny when I noticed it.
yeah, I thought that was funny too. I was like, that's a clever workaround. So she sends you some music. It's Census Fail, like a screamo-ish band. Um,
Yeah, probably
so
something you liked back in the day.
yeah, yeah. I didn't listen to Census Fail then, but I did like hearing it now. So I was about it. I was like, cool. I like you, Evelyn. I'm in. Um, but yeah, I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a cool adjustment from before. Just being able to like YouTube link it and like listen to music together. Because before they'd like mention music, but you'd have to like be like, oh yeah, I remember those lyrics, and sometimes they'd call you out on it. Whereas this one, they just sent you a link to a song, and then you could say if you like it or not.
Yeah, and there's times if you actually don't click on the link, they'll respond like, "Oh, you didn't even listen to the link yet." Like, come on. I don't know if you tried that at all, but
Oh,
I did.
oh wow, no,
Yeah.
I didn't. I always click the link. That's funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's way more interactive. I think this game.
Yeah, that's cool. So sends you music, you get to conversate on that. Then Emily also messages you, and you talk about music too. She likes more like indie music, so I think she sent you like Sigur Rós or something like that. And
Yeah.
when I was talking to her, the vibe I got to in these two conversations is Evelyn's more of like a new-ish friend who we had a class with, and so she's kind of like new potential friend. Emily instead is more of a longer-term friend that you've had. And so you like talk about music. It's cool. It seems like you guys have the same friend group, so you're like sort of close already. And for me, the way mine went is I like tried to make plans with her for tomorrow, but then as we talked, it got kind of weird, and then she was like, "Okay, well, I'll see you when I see you." And so I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I think in mine she was more receptive to hanging out. But I
Okay.
think 'cause we just talked about like video games and we like the same video games, so it was kind of
Okay. Yeah.
she was maybe more into it.
Yeah, we talked about that too because I said I liked RPGs of the options, and so did she,
Nice.
which was cool. I like that too. Yeah, I like the yeah, just starting off, you're like kind of figuring out who they are and what they like, and if you like those things too.
hmm Yeah, it's very good like intro into setting up. I guess both of those characters, Emily and Evelyn, and then also kind of your own character.
Yep. Yeah, because also you have the same conversations with Emily. Also, like, do you drink alcohol? Are you a virgin? Or what music do you like? That kind of stuff. Those are kind of your like couple early like personality slash personal history things that sort of set the game in motion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So then it fast forwards to fall 2006. School started, and I message Emily. And when I'm talking to her, she ends up leaving to go to dinner pretty fast. I like talk to her for I don't know a couple back and forth, and then she's like, "Oh, my mom's calling me. I gotta go." And I was like, "Okay, see ya." Like whatever. And then Evelyn messages you, and you talk about Halloween. That she's going to a party. She asks you about like what she should do for a costume. She ends up inviting you to come to the party, which I said yes. On here in our conversation, I think she was going to go as Alice in Wonderland, so I was like, oh, I could be the Mad Hatter, and so it was like kind of teaming up a little bit. We end up becoming friends on Facebook, which is their Facebook.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too.
Yeah, I like that. And also another cool like extra thing outside of AIM as their like seeing them, like you could look at notes and like some statuses and stuff like that. I thought that was cool.
hmm
So we become friends on Facebook. We talk about music again. I think it was more Census Veil or other screamo music. She ends up like getting us to play like a game of essentially like a 21 questions type of game. Like I ask you a question, then you ask me one, and you know whatever, get deeper or whatever as you talk. We find out she was in a serious relationship with a guy she told us about from the summer party who had a fake ID, whose name is Steve. He was a dude.
Yeah.
He was like a guy who's like maybe 1 year into the college or maybe two, and had dated Emily when she was in high school, and then when they were both in high school, and then when he went to college, he like kind of broke it off, but he's still like kind of lurking around.
Yeah, lurking. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, he's just kind of there, and you're kind of like, all right, this dude feels a little sketch to me, but I don't know. Also in this, for me, we like ended up flirting a bit, and we gave each other like nicknames. So our like friendship is like, I don't know, moving forward.
Yeah, this is similar with mine, except I did this with Emily.
Okay.
So I think I skipped the kind of flirting part, and it was more friendly, just friends talking.
Okay. Did you do nicknames with Evelyn, or did that end up happening with Emily then?
It was Emily. Yeah, I didn't get that option with Evelyn.
Oh, cool. Okay, that's interesting. How that like changes for each of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Did yours happen where Emily leaves to go to dinner with her mom?
Yeah, that's the same.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the same. Just your conversation content's different. Okay, cool. That
Yeah, because I think so what happens is she leaves and comes back
yep.
after dinner. Yeah, that's how it went with me.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so then Emily comes back once you wrap up your conversation with Evelyn. She says she's been fighting with her boyfriend, whose name is Jeff. Jeff seems kind of like a tool.
Yeah, and it definitely more so later. In my playthrough, at least, I'll share some of that. But yeah, he's kind of shitty. Just you know, he just sucks.
Yeah, he seems shitty from my side, but I end up getting a little bit less on him, as we'll see. So she's fighting with her boyfriend Jeff. We end up talking about college, which I think we also do with Evelyn. I think that's another thing of like, where do you want to go to college? Do you want to go near or far away? Do you want to have a family someday? So there are some more like deeper-ish personal questions of like future and where you see it kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, I think that's one of the reasons I didn't get that conversation with Evelyn because we had different ideas about the future. She wanted to like have a family right away, and I said, "No, I want to kind of be free to do whatever I want for a little bit."
Okay.
And she was kind of like, not really my thing.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Because I think mine was the opposite. I think I went with the family route with Evelyn and didn't with Emily. So that makes sense. So talk about college. We also become friends on Facebook here as well. And I feel like overall on my end, it felt like our friendship was strengthened. We had a pretty good conversation also. So I felt like leaving fall 2006, both of these people, I felt like I was like, cool, our relationships are both getting better.
Yeah, that was I think same with me. I think at this point I kind of decided like if there's a like a romance option, I'd probably go with Emily.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, for me, I was like, I like them both, but I guess I'm leaning Evelyn, but I was kind of like, all right, we'll see. Sort of deal.
Yeah, that's fair.
I also kind of thought I could just be friends with both of them and that things would work out nicely. So, we'll see, obviously. Fast forward again, it's winter 2007, and right when you log in, I guess we should have said this at the beginning, but every time you log in, you get to update like your profile. So you get to like include like some band lyrics, like a quote from a movie, and then like a saying, essentially.
Yeah. Did you ever do this in real life? Like this part?
Definitely music, like song lyrics were like my away messages a lot in real life.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really remember doing this that much. Like, they were talking about like profiles and stuff. And I think I kind of just skipped all that part and just in real life and just kind of used the chat.
Yeah, I don't remember what my profile did or didn't look like. Like, I'm sure I had something there, but away messages were way more of the thing where I probably had like 20 with different song lyrics.
Nice.
Along with a couple other like generic ones like BRB or, one specific for that day at this person's house having fun or something. But
yeah, hit the cell.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hit the cell.
So cringy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Yeah, but yeah, and you could also change your like buddy icon thing, so it could be like a movie icon or a band icon or whatever too. So you could do that each time, and every like season change or whatever, you got new ones. So you could do that. Anyway, winter 2007, you finish updating your profile, and immediately Emily and Evelyn both message you right when you log in.
Shit, popular.
Yeah, so you're a hot commodity. People like you, which is nice. Because in the beginning, some of them you message and sometimes they message you. It's a little of both. So this was the first time they both just hit you up right away. You talk to Emily. She's kind of drunk.
Yeah.
Her relationship with Jeff isn't going well. She is upset. Like, she sends you like a conversation that they had where he wanted her to come over to study, but she's like, no, his parents are like gone, and so he's trying to have sex, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And so she's like, but she just kind of like, instead of saying anything to him, she just was like, oh, I can't come over, and like avoided it, essentially. And so she's feeling fucked up because she doesn't want to go where Jeff wants to, at least right now, but she also doesn't want to like engage at all on it. So she's trying to kind of withdraw, and so she's just kind of getting drunk at home and jumping on AIM to talk with us with her away message up, so that he won't message her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then
or go ahead. We can do both of them, then I can give you my thing.
Okay, cool. And then on the other side, Evelyn is like super depressed and like, I don't know, feels like the world's ending, that she sucks, that everyone sucks. She's just like, I don't know, in the dark pits kind of deal. She's feeling like super shitty.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're talking to her too, and you're like trying to kind of tease out like, what's going on? Can I help you? Like, if you want to share something, I'm willing to listen, or, you know, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
And so then...
That was my experience too, yeah.
Okay, nice. So then you end up in a spot where they both start messaging you kind of even more at the same time, except it's escalating. They both basically demand quick action responses, and if you're not responding fast enough to them, they're like, what the fuck? Are you even there? Are you listening to me? Do you care about me? Like, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty stressful, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, it really was. It felt like, I felt like this made me feel very reminiscent of being on AIM and having, like, two quote-unquote serious conversations going on with people. And
yeah.
And then you're like... I can't invest in both the same way, even though I'm really trying to. And that one of them will ultimately be kind of mad at you for not being as available as they wanted.
Yeah, and sometimes I noticed, I don't know if you noticed this too, but like you could pick a response really quickly, but sometimes it would still take way too long to type, so you'd still get screwed anyway at a certain point. So I don't know if like the developer made it this way, so you had to piss one of them off, but it definitely worked out like that for me.
I think so too, because there was one of them where like the meter was going and I had my thing I wanted to say and I did want to say it, and I'm just like clicking my keyboard like go go go, like I don't want them mad at me. Like,
Yep.
It yeah, this felt very stressful in like a really good way. Like they totally did this right.
And this was another new feature, like the time limit, but I think added a lot to it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And so what this ultimately makes you do is you essentially just have to choose who you're going to stay with because you can't respond to both quick enough. It's just not a thing. So who did we stay with? I stayed with Evelyn, which 49.6% of people did.
Yeah, and I stayed with Emily, which 50.4% of people did. So basically 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah, very down the line.
Yeah, which I guess I'm not shocked by because both were good. Like, at this point, I could see it going either way.
Mm-hmm.
I guess just depending on maybe what you were kind of more into at this period in your life, you'd probably pick that person, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably true. Why'd you choose Emily over Evelyn? Like, what was your thought process?
I don't exactly know, to be honest. I think part of the reason was because our last interaction, I went more flirty with Emily. So it made sense for me, like, all right, I'm going to stick with this. Two, I think it's because it reminded me from the first game we played where you were talking to Emily and the ending is kind of sad, I guess, technically, without giving any more spoilers than that. So I kind of wanted another shot with some Emily.
Yeah.
So I think that was a factor too.
No, totally. That makes a lot of sense. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I think my thought process was probably in one similar vein of like I was connecting more with Evelyn on the last one, like flirting a little bit, giving each other nicknames and all that. So I felt like we were kind of closer. But also I was thinking that like I don't know, Emily's kind of drunk, she'll get over it. Evelyn's sad, like this seems like a more quote unquote urgent need or whatever.
Sure.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I'll roll with you. I kind of like you more anyway, but also your problem, I don't know, maybe I can actually help. Versus, like, I wasn't sure if I could actually help Emily that much or not.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of my thought process.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not a bad reason.
Yeah, I guess either way, someone gets kind of screwed here. So it's intense either way. Um, I guess I'll go through mine, and then do you want to go through yours of how it works out?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, of course I was too slow to respond to Emily, so she leaves. She gets mad. She's like, "Fuck this! You don't have time for me. I'm out." Kind of thing, and and that felt bad because knowing that we were close before and like had some nice interactions before this, I definitely felt bad that she jetted. But I was like, maybe she'll understand, kind of thing. So I talk with Evelyn. And also her nickname's like Evie now for me, so
Like a Pokemon.
yeah. That's what I thought of when that was an option, because when you give a nickname you have a couple options, so I like that.
What was her nickname for you?
I just did favorite punk since her name was Punk Forever, so I did Fave Punk.
Okay.
What did you do?
Big Papa.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super funny.
Yeah, I was gonna go something way worse, but I was like, I don't really want to say it on our podcast, so I just went with that.
Fair. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's super funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, talk with Evie. What we find out is that Steve, ex-boyfriend guy, tried to kiss her at this party they were at while he was drunk, and he already has like a college girlfriend and was like, I don't know, kind of trying to make her jealous of being like, oh, I got this cool girlfriend kind of, but like, I guess I'll hang out with you kids. Like that was kind of his like attitude, it seemed like. And so while he's like drunk, he tries to kiss Evie. Evie says no, and so she like just leaves the party and walks home because she's feeling fucked up about him being weird. But then he goes back into the party and tells all of her friends that she tried to kiss him, and is like,
oh
yeah, like, and so Steve's like,
Shit.
yeah, Evelyn's such a jerk, man. Like, I'm just like a guy trying to be a friend, and she tries to kiss me, and I feel so uncomfortable. Like, I have a girlfriend, man. Like, so he like said,
yeah, what a dick.
yeah, total dick. So he does that, and all her friends, like, that's what she hears. So she's really concerned, basically, of like, I feel kind of violated that he was like a creepy douche. I feel like my friends all hate me because they think what he said is true. Like, that feels really bad that they might think I'm that way, kind of thing. And so when I talked with her, I tried to be like, well, tell him the truth. Like, if they're willing to believe him over you in this, like, they're not really good friends. And that was kind of the dialogue. It's like, I felt like I went with like the being a good listener and then helping her like think through it sort of deal. So
Okay.
did that. It seemed pretty good. And then we made plans to meet up tomorrow. And she seemed like she ultimately like felt better by the end of it. And overall was a good conversation. So at this point, when this ended, I was like, I feel like I made the right call staying with her versus Evelyn. Like, this seems like a pretty shitty thing. And, I stayed up late talking with you about something that was making you sad. I think I did the right call.
Yeah, that seems worth it. I mean, I guess we'll both decide, the judge of which one's better.
Right.
Or more important.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah. I guess that's how it felt in the moment. After doing it. So, but yeah, let's hear yours.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll just decide at the end. Okay, so mine's similar. You kind of know the first part. She's drunk. And I guess what had happened was she tried to go break up with Jeff, and he ended up just being like, "No, we're not breaking up," and just yelled at her a bunch. And then she got really pissed and yelled at him, and then she left. And then she woke up, I guess the next day, which is the day you're talking to her on AIM, and she just woke up to a text from Jeff that said like, basically insinuated that he's like, "I'm glad we didn't break up. If we had, I'd kill myself," something like that. So she was like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Like, I don't want to be with Jeff, but if I break up with him, I feel like he's gonna kill himself, feel manipulated, all that stuff. So then I went a similar route. I listened and kind of gave her advice to like, you need to talk to him, you need to tell him that's not cool. Life will go on. It'll be okay. Things like that. And we also made plans to hang out the next day as well. And I think she was drunk but felt somewhat better after that conversation.
Sure. Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yep.
That's intense. Okay, man. That is
Yeah, both are pretty intense.
Yeah, no, they really are. That's crazy. What a dickhead.
Yeah. Freaking Jeff sucks.
Yeah, fuck Jeff. Man,
Jeff's a giant bitch.
That's wild. That's good. Nice job developing it that way. They're both really hard choices, and then on the end you do get that feeling, because I'm guessing for you felt like you probably made the right call too. At the end, you're like,
yeah, definitely.
This was good. So that's like really good writing. Is that whatever one you chose, you're like, I think I did the right thing. Like, this seemed pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Are you still convinced yours was the right choice?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not positive either.
It's
hard to say, I guess, without seeing it happen or play out.
Right. And I think too, even just like the relationships you've developed with them, you know?
Yeah.
Like I felt like I developed something with Evie before this, so it was like, I gotta be there for you kind of thing. But that other stuff's pretty important on Emily's end. Like that's intense.
Yeah. So yeah, well done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. From here, we get our next fast forward. We go to spring 2007. Senior year is wrapping up. And so it starts off, for me, talking with Evie. And at this point, we're like best friends. If you look at her profile, like it says Fave Punk in it, like nicknames are there, like we're like BFFs.
That's so lame.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like there's like all this stuff. It's good. We're like best friends. We talk about a poetry class she's in. She says she writes like a poem about me in it, which was big, which I took an excerpt out just to kind of get the frame of my character during this. Her poem is this: find someone who makes you smile, who listens when you speak, who likes you for you. Tell someone that you're making them smile, that you listen to their every word, that you like them for them. Know someone exists for you, and that you exist for someone. And so, like, at this point for my character, I'm like, oh man, we're like best friends. This is huge. Like, that night we stayed up talking when that fucked up shit that happened, and like talked about this. Like, oh man, that was like a game changer kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
are you guys like dating at this point?
No, we've just stayed pretty like friends. I think there was like a time or two where we could talk about dating, but I never pushed it that way because I thought it would be weird or pushy, so I didn't.
Gotcha.
I wasn't sure. Have this going anyway. Best friends, it's great. No romance, but like we're there kind of thing. It's good. After this, I talked to Emily also. She ends up apologizing for getting angry last winter. We find out we haven't talked since last winter, and so it's been kind of weird that, we were in this close friend group, but by the end of senior year, we haven't been talking to each other for a few months after that, like, weird encounter. Find out that her and Jeff have broken up, which is good. She seems to be doing better. And sort of trying to ease back into friendship. Like, I tried to be pretty, like, gracious and friendshipy back. Like, hey, like, I'm glad you hit me up. Like, it's been weird not being friends, and I'd like to be friends, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so,
That's the sorry.
oh,
So that's the approach I took with Evelyn too.
okay, nice.
Yeah, because obviously she gets pissed, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Like, whatever. And I think Evelyn asked me too, like, what were you doing? Why couldn't you talk to me? And then sort of explained why, and she's like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I did too. Is I was like, I was in like a, I was in a conversation with someone who really needed help then, and like, I think I did the right thing basically, but like, they were in a really tough spot, so I felt like I had to be there for them.
Yep.
Kind of thing. So I don't know. All in all, it felt like the relationship was sort of reconciled, and maybe moving forward, we could maybe become friends again. So that felt positive. And then also at the end, I find out that she's in a class right now with Evie, and so they're taking a class together. They've become friends and found out, oh, we both know you. So, that's kind of how mine went. How did yours go in this kind of section?
Um, let's see. At that point, yeah. So at this point, I'm talking to Evelyn. I don't have a nickname for her, and she says that she's in a class with someone I know. I'm like, oh, who? She's like Emily. And then you're like, at this point, I was dating Emily. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh yeah, we're actually not friends. We're dating. We're not just friends or whatever.
Okay.
So then she's like, oh, that's cool. Happy for you. Whatever. But it's a similar progression as yours, except I'm dating Emily, and Evelyn's the one that told me, hey, I'm in class with your friend/girlfriend, Emily.
Okay. Nice. And then, with Emily, did she have any like significant things you talked to her with about dating? Like, was it clear you were dating and she was just super into it, or what was the deal there?
Yeah. Yep, that's basically how it goes. I think oh yeah, you mentioned prom. So you ask her to prom over chat messenger, which is great.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Facepalm. But yeah, so you do that, and then she's like, well, you mean like as like a thing, as a couple? And you're like, yeah, if you want to. And she's like, oh yeah, definitely. And then you're like, start dating. And then you change your face note thing.
Oh, okay, so you update to in a relationship?
Oh yeah.
Dang.
Super official.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is super official. With
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're a thing, dude.
With mine with Evie, we decided to skip. We made plans to skip prom together and just hang out with each other. So it was kind of a let's kind of do our own thing and rebel and have fun together.
That seems like the punk thing to do.
That's what I thought too. I was like, that seems like a punk thing to do. Like, fuck prom together and like we'll just have fun because we're best friends.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, that's awesome. Our final fast forward happens, and it's summer 2007, where high school's over, we've graduated, and everyone's kind of getting ready to go to college, sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And Emily messages you, and she says she talked to Evie. And when she was talking to Evie, she said that you are way different to Evie than you are to her. And so she tells Evie the truth of who you really are, so to speak. That the Emily, the us that Emily knows is way different than the Evie that knows us or whatever. And so I like got that and I'm like, what the fuck, Emily? Like, what are you talking about? I'm consistent. You're being an asshole. And so
Yeah.
I was a little bit angry at this point, and I was just like, what? Like, I tried to, like, be understanding, but internally I was mad. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? So then I message Evie, and she doesn't think our friendship's real.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And that all these things that I said to Emily were different than the things I said to her. And so she like kind of recounts them. One of the ones that happened that sucks, because she is right to call it out on this, but I don't know, how the game made it go was different than I wanted. So when Evie first asked me if I was a virgin or not, uh, it was so yes I am, no I'm not, and then there was uh, yeah kind of, like, or have you ever had sex? And so it was no, yes, or yeah, kind of. And so I tried to put yeah, kind of to be like, well, I mean, I've like done stuff. Um, that's what I wanted to like put as my answer because I did internally when I was playing, I was like, I don't want to seem like a nerd to you. I like you, so I was trying to be like, well, I've done some stuff, but instead, when the typing happens, she just says yes, and so yeah, I have had sex. And so then when I was talking to Emily, she asked, have you had sex or not? And I said no. And she was like, me either. And I was like, yeah, I've only gone to third base. And she was like, same. And so I thought I was internally consistent or what I wanted to be. Here, it was not internally consistent. So Evie's like, you lied to me about having sex. I thought you understood me because of that, but you haven't. Like, and I don't like you anymore because of that. And I was just like, fuck, man, like I wasn't trying to lie. uh, yeah, this is where this goes full disaster for me. So that happens. Everything else I think I was consistent on. Like I said I wanted the same thing that Evie wanted for like having a family. I forget what else we talked about. Oh, drinking. I think I said with Evie I did drink, and then with Evelyn I said I drink sometimes, but I didn't get called out for that, so I think that was taken as same answer either way. But ultimately, like talking to her, it felt like a worse version of the first game. So
Really?
yeah, a little bit. I think probably because I liked Evie more than Emily in the first game. Like just with the additional interactions you get, this felt worse for sure. So, so we're talking, and she's basically like, "You've been manipulating me. Like you told me things I wanted to hear, so I'd be your friend." And I'm like, "No, I didn't. Like I didn't try to do that at all." And I care about you. And so you like reminisce on good times a little bit, and then she's like, well, I don't think I could trust you. And you're like, well, I want to earn trust back. I understand trust takes time. And she's like, I don't have time. And basically, yeah, she kind of pushes it into a like, we don't have time to see if this works. Like, I think it's over. And I'm like, all right, I guess we're not friends. And she's like, I guess we're not. And then like, just sign off and it's over.
That's so sad.
Yeah, I was like bummed out. When I finished playing, I was like, man, I really like this fictional character and I feel really let down. I was, yeah, they really hit it. I was super surprised like how much it hit. And I was like, the whole time too, I was like, I'd gone through all these moments of having really good ones. I was like, man, we're going to date. We're going to have like the best not prom ever. And then it was like, no, I don't ever want to see you again. It's just like, fucking brutal.
Yeah, that sucks.
So that was my sad demise. I clearly fucked up. I'm gonna have to be more consistent, I guess, next game. And make sure I am. Because that was super sad.
Yeah, that was my one, honestly, going, like, when I first started playing, I was like, okay, you're asking me the same questions. This is somehow going to come back if I'm dishonest or, say different things to different people. So I'm going to make sure I really say the same things. I just saw it going poorly.
Yeah, I didn't think about it, and I didn't try to be dishonest, but I definitely ended up being on accident, and it really blew up in my face. So I'm I'm gonna make sure I'm better at dialogue in the future.
Yeah, that's fair.
How did yours go? How did your like summer '07 happen?
Oh, dude, mine was great. Great summer '07. Yeah, amazing. So, Evelyn messages me and says, or no, sorry, Emily messages me and says that she found out that like me and Evelyn had been friends for a while. She's like, "Are you guys still close?" I'm like, kind of. Like, I mean, we just reconnected in the in the spring, I think, whatever. And then she's like, well, she's been telling me a lot of things about you, and like, you sound pretty cool and pretty genuine, whatever. And from there, it just kind of goes and it's positive. And then we have a discussion about like, I think she says something like most people, or a lot of people just kind of break up at the end of summer. Like, do you want to do that? And then you kind of have the choice to like break up right now, break up over the summer, or just not break up and just see how it goes or whatever. So I just continued to date. I was like, hey, we can make this work. We're the best couple ever, you know.
Okay.
We're definitely gonna last through college. And then from there, like there's a little bit more dialogue, but that's kind of where it ends.
Okay,
so it's very happy. I had a very happy ending.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like you got the best ending of being able to be like, let's try to make it work.
Yep. So I feel like, yeah, my ending was exactly what I wanted it to be. So yeah, me and Evelyn were cool. Me and Emily were cool. Try to make things work, you know, in college. See how it goes. Not really sure yet.
Right.
But
that's awesome. That's good. I'm glad you got a good ending. Like when it ended, I was like, man, I hope they didn't just like, since there's multiple endings, there must be good ones, and I just fucked up. Hopefully, other people get good endings. So I'm glad you got a good ending.
Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of different endings, but I'm pretty content with mine.
Yeah, I'm guessing that there's a like date, friends, not friends for both of them.
Yeah, so 6 endings.
Yeah, that would make sense. Like, because it seems like with yours, where it could be like break up now, break up during summer. Like you could kind of be like, let's not date, or I guess you could choose not to date in the first place and just be like, cool, let's go to college together, or like, you know, I'm excited to have fun with you this summer or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that's Emily is Away too. So I guess moving on to general thoughts. I guess my first one is, as mentioned before, I was very sad at the end of this game. And I felt like it really brought a lot of the angst that was of this time being in high school. Like, I felt a lot of the angst of, like, having to choose between them in chapter 3 or whatever. Like, I want to talk to you both and I want to be a good friend to both of you, but the game won't let me. Like,
Yeah.
like that felt bad. Like, I didn't want to have a relationship with Emily, like, deteriorate or whatever because of that. But, like, was forced to choose. And as we saw, they were both important. And then also, even at the end, like, being accused of being disingenuous or manipulative kind of thing. And it was like, no, I wasn't, like, trying to be those things. And I think something also, we didn't mention it in the recap, was that for both Emily and I think for Evie, they both say that they really appreciated you being genuine because they've dealt with shitty people before, with Jeff or with Steve. And so I'm guessing that was in your dialogue option of, they were like, you're just a genuine good person kind of deal, like that sort of deal. And I thought that, like, that's a really good compliment on the positive end, and it was really frustrating to accidentally not live up to that. Like,
Yeah, I guess it makes sense why the response was so extreme, because that's like what they were really looking for. And then if they found out, or in their mind you weren't, then it would have been a pretty big deal.
Right. And I guess too, in it, like, I did lie to Evie. I didn't mean to. Like, me Dan playing, I didn't intend to lie. Like, I chose yeah, kinda.
Then it screwed you.
And then it said yes. And so I was like, I didn't want that exactly. I was trying to be mild-mannered. I was trying to be in the middle. And you just went full yes. Like, thanks, game.
Yeah, the game punished you for being neutral. You can't be neutral.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, the game punished me for being neutral, and I shouldn't have been that way. So
this reminds me of the classic The Wolf Among Us, where you glass him. That just reminds me of that so much.
Right, yeah. Something I didn't want to have happen happened.
Yeah, just because the dialogue was not the dialogue seemed clear, but then it tricked you.
Right. And just like not knowing any better, not being as forward as maybe I should have been. And so
Hmm.
good boom, I would say for sure. But I thought this was really good. It really felt like high school. I was surprised how like nostalgia was so high in this. Like they really hit it well.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel the same way. I think just like the first game, the developers encapsulated like the chat room AIM talking with your friends after school culture and like the feel with like the changing your theme, changing your profile name, like your image, your picture, whatever. It just like even the noises again, like it works so well, and it really even the way he included like popular things from around that time, like some of the movies they listed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think at one point you get to help Evelyn pick a movie to watch, and it was like Final Destination or The Descent, and both of those were really popular around this time.
Yeah.
So like even things like that, or like the music, I think it's just I just really love how the creator uses a really minimal platform, but makes you get drawn in so much to like your past. I guess it's just really cool.
Yeah, yeah. The like I don't know, quote unquote world building because of the
Hmm.
familiarity, it just really brings you back there really well, which is crazy. Like yeah, I'm just really struck with this game and obviously the one before it, but just how developing it they were able to do so much with so little, so to speak.
Hmm. Yeah, it's really well done.
Mm-hmm. I
I guess we already kind of mentioned this, but I'm really glad I got a good ending. Not trying to rub it in your face or anything like that, but um, I just from the first game, I felt pretty deflated after that. I'm not gonna just give much more away than that, but
yeah.
I really am glad I got a good ending. But I'm also glad there's multiple endings. I guess we calculated there's probably six, so I think that's a cool add too in this game versus the last one, where I think there was maybe I think the ending's the same, but maybe there's different dialogue at the end, but it's essentially the same end with different conversation.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it kind of goes the same way almost no matter what in the last one. Uh which was a good brutal ending in itself, but like I do like the variety here. Totally.
Hmm.
Yeah. I also think that this game had a strong improvement from the original. Like, I really liked the original. I thought it was a good game. Like, it was enjoyable and stuff like that. But I was just really impressed with like the new additions. Having two characters you're talking to throughout the game, that was great. Like that extra factor really changed a lot. The like time limit stuff, the YouTube and the Face Nook, like all of these little additions, like I think just added a lot more to the world and to the characters and all that stuff. Like I don't know if this is categorically true, but it almost felt like this is the game I've seen the biggest like jump in improvement from game 1 to game 2 in a sense because
Hmm.
there's so many identifiable things that are different versus like, you know, uh I don't know, gameplay's a little different or the settings a little different or something like that. Like, just in your like traditional game, like the difference between BioShock 1 and BioShock 2 or something like, which I know this is apples and oranges, but like the difference between BioShock 1 and 2 versus Emily is Away and Emily is Away 2, like Emily is Away 2 felt like it had a lot more differences.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, it really did. I mean, it was the same general idea. Like you're in a chat. It's the same. But yeah, just adding the music. You could like go to different pages like Facebook, um, talking to multiple people. I think that was cool. I think I don't. I have to think more about it if I'd say it's like the most additions or most improved, or not improved, most expanded game compared to the first one. But it's definitely there's a lot more in this game than the first one, for sure. And all the additions are really good. I don't think they missed on any of them.
Yeah, I agree. On point.
I think that kind of summarizes all of my thoughts. I guess I maybe just readdressing too. Yeah, the part where you have to like respond to Evelyn or Emily and you're timed. That was just so well done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever felt sort of stressed in a fake situation when I'm just reading something. Like it just was really well done, and I think like we had said earlier, the developer made both choices seem good and important at the time, but both had consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Or not choosing the other one had a consequence, which is cool.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever felt stressed just reading something either. Like, like I don't know. In games, in games where I've had gameplay decisions, I felt stressed at times, or like in a Telltale game or something where a big decision happens. But you can also see it in this. It's straight up. You're just talking to people, and if you take too long, they get mad at you, and you're like, no, that's the worst. Like,
yeah. I wonder what happened if you just didn't respond to either of them. Is that a thing?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, I wonder if you just the game just ends there, like, all right, you have no friends left.
The game just ends in chapter 3. They're like, no one talked to you, no one went to prom with you. The end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
really
a good
sad
question. That'd be the worst possible ending.
Yeah, that's true. No one's friends with you, and they all hate you, like early on. This was something I was worried about when Emily messaged me in the summer. Is I thought that they were just gonna trick and date each other and then like kick me out of their friendship, and I was like, if that happens, I'm gonna be like the most fucking sad ever. Like, you guys
That'd be pretty fucked up.
You meet each other and you realize you like each other more than me, and I'm just gone. Like, oh god, like. I maybe would have cried because I'd have just felt so hurt.
Oh my God. Yeah, that would have sucked.
Which is like silly, but it would have just been like such a fucking burn. Like I would have been like, man, what the hell, man? Like,
well, I guess based on the first game, you're like, all right, this dude might screw us.
Right.
The developer might make us feel bad again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's totally true. Another thing I have is I really like the music in this. So, I don't know, as commented before, a lot of this music appeals to the music I liked then and I like now. So there's like a brand new song, a Taking Back Sunday song, a Manchester Orchestra song, a Killer song, like all in. Like when I was talking to them, I was just going through YouTube and playing the videos because I was like, oh, I like this song. This is cool. Like, like
I forgot you love brand new.
Yeah, so there was like all sorts of music I already liked. So this was very for me, for sure. Also, it introduced me to some songs that I hadn't listened to before, but I do like. So I liked Senses Fail that Evie was into. Like I've been listening to that a bit, and I liked an LCD sound system song that was on there. But I've been like all in on the music since I finished the game. On a Thursday on a Wednesday maybe. And Thursday and Friday, I just listened to the playlist for this on Spotify like all day. Like I was like all in. Like the Emily Away's music. I was like, cool. I want all of this. This is perfect. And then like was listening to all the other music I liked in high school too because of this. So they really took me down like memory lane of music for sure and playing this. So I was all in on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you listen to Nickelback? Because you were really into Nickelback in high school.
I didn't listen to Nickelback, and I was not into Nickelback, so don't believe him.
Yeah, dude, don't lie. We all know that you're misleading based on the game, so no one can really trust you.
No one can, right.
I'm trustworthy based on my outcome.
No, this is the worst. Now the internet thinks I like Nickelback. This sucks.
Now the truth's out.
So, yeah, music, I like that. Another comment for me is Emily is Away Heart, the upcoming one, which I think is supposed to come out in 2020 sometime. I feel like that's moved to like a must play when it releases for me. Like, once that comes out on Steam, I want to buy it and play it like within that month or something like that. Like, just the improvement from 1 to 2 and just how much I especially like this one. I just want to play it like ASAP kind of thing. Like, I'm all in. Kyle Seeley, you can have my money. I'm in kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to play it too. I've really enjoyed these first two games, and they're just so easy to play. Like, I mean, a couple hours. I think this one maybe took me an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, is probably around that. Because I feel like I played it in 2 settings. I was maybe like 45 minutes each time or something, and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. Really enjoyed it. Super immersive. Like, I think the new one's going to be more Facebook based. So that could be cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that could be cool, like as a evolution to this.
Facebook chat.
Yeah, right. That. Yeah, I wonder if it'll just be a Facebook chat and you'll like do statuses and stuff.
Classic Facebook chat.
Yeah. Which also will be cool, I think, because I wonder if these games are really set for a certain time period. You know, like probably a couple years older than me and maybe a couple years younger than you. Like, there's probably like a 7-year period where this is relevant, and then otherwise you are maybe too old or too young for this to apply.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess people in college were probably using AIM, but it was probably a little different than what it was like using it in high school. And
I'm sure.
right, and then people like lower middle school. But for me, this feels like I think I used AIM a lot from like 7th grade to like, I don't know, maybe 10th or 11th grade, and then MySpace came along somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think. Let's see. I was maybe like beginning of middle school until end of middle school, and then I think MySpace was around sometime freshman sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
But I don't remember exactly. So that would have been 2000. Yeah, about 2010 for me.
Okay.
Was when MySpace came out. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know, that's like a unique spot for a certain age of people. And then people who are different ages maybe never used AIM or like they were older. And I imagine that's sort of different than this high school experience that is in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I feel like this game would probably not be as enjoyable if you didn't have this around high school or middle school, because you probably couldn't really relate with it as much.
yeah,
But for us, it's perfect.
right. Yeah. Totally spot on for our age gap. And I wonder if maybe Facebook Messenger, if that's what the next one is focused on, if that'll grab more people because, you know, whatever age you were in on that, you probably experienced some of that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh yeah, I definitely used a lot of Facebook Messenger in my day.
yeah. I feel like 18 to 22 was probably on that quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Something. So, yeah, my last thought is that I wanted to share was Thoughts from Player One. Is a podcast who's got an episode on this. They're cool guys. They cover a lot of games that we cover, like Life is Strange and Night in the Woods, this game, stuff like that. So check them out. Check their episode out. I'm definitely going to listen to it later this week to see what they thought about this game. But yeah, go check them out.
Sweet.
And I guess that wraps Emily is Away too. So yeah, if you've got other thoughts on this game, definitely hit us up. You can do that on Twitter at StoryEverPod or email us at TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed.com. You can go to our website, or GreatestStoryEverPlayed at gmail.com. Our website is TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed.com. There we go.
Nice.
Yes, and you can check out other episodes we've got, including Emily is Away, the first one. We got an episode on that in, I think, January or something. We did that. So, yeah, check that stuff out. If you'd like to support the podcast financially, you can do that at patreon.com/TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed. And there, if you decide to donate as little as $1 per month, you'll get access to some topical episodes we do. Like, we ranked the Life is Strange episodes. We talked about our favorite games from childhood. Different stuff like that. If that interests you, go check that out. Also, if you'd like to rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, that'd be super helpful in just, increasing visibility for the show. And so more people who enjoy the games you like can enjoy them and find us. So that'd be cool. And I guess we'll see you next time.
Later.